Today is going to be the complete set of the Back to the Future Funko Pops that they just recently released. Plus I got one bonus in there. Plus, whoa, wrong one. The SDCC Marty release. This is single-handedly going to be the biggest review that I think I've ever done. I don't think that I've ever sat down with this many Pops at one time and just did a review over the whole collection. So I recently picked up the whole collection from Walmart. So my local Walmart had 2 complete collections came in at one time. I picked up one and then left the other one there. I mean, I hope somebody picked up the complete set. I just couldn't see breaking the set. Now, on the back of these guys, they show 7 of them in the set. They do not show the SDCC version in the set. So, you know, they do that a lot. So it's nothing really new, right? So it's no big surprise that they didn't put them all in there. Like I said, there's 7 of them. They're on the back of the box. The SDCC version is $9.65 out of the group. We're going to get this guy open first, and then I'm going to kind of funnel into these. But this is what I'm going to say. It's kind of funny that there are 4 Martys, 2 Docs, and 1 Biff. And I believe that this is the first time that they've ever released a Biff. But I think that they could have maybe put some other people in there, because these weren't the only 3 characters in the movie, right? I mean, so they could have like added a few extra characters in there that they didn't. So I mean, I'm kind of disappointed that there's so many Martys versus Docs, but I'm really not disappointed all at the same time. I mean, so every Marty that you see, they kind of look exactly the same with a slight variance. It's kind of what I've noticed when I'm looking at these. So there's a slight variance to the Martys. That, like, this one is going to have the watch, and we're going to take a closer look at this guy. Now, what I was saying is there's a slight variance in the group that's I'm trying to think of how I say this nicely without getting a lot of hateful comments. Okay, so the variance in Marty, I don't know, should have been that many Martys, right? I mean, because in this one he has his sunglasses up, which the paint itself looks really good. This is kind of flexible, which is kind of odd. I don't think I've ever seen that. So the paint job on him himself is pretty good. I don't see any like massive amounts of paint spill over. I love the cheetah print on the inside of the cuffs. I don't know if you can see that really well on the camera, but I kind of hope you can see that cheetah print. I mean, just the amount of detail they went in there with the plaid shirt. I mean, they even got the buttons painted with the headphones behind it. I mean, the amount of detail they are able to pack into some of these Pops is just absolutely amazing. But like I was saying just a second ago, I don't know that they should have had so many Martys in the collection, right? Because all of these Martys at the end of the day kind of start to look together. So they kind of start to look very similar, right? So this is Marty with the glasses on top of his head. This is going to be Marty with the glasses on, right? Not much of a difference. In this one, he has the headphones on and the glasses on, right? Not much of a difference. So we're just going to set these guys over here as we go through them. Then on this one, we have... See, this one's just Marty with his skateboard or hoverboard at the time, but it has wheels and tracks on it, so I would call it a skateboard. Then we have Marty with the hat, right? So this is in the future outfit, as they call it, which once again is just not that much of a difference. So now instead of having his watch, now we have a hat on. And in this one is almost identical to the SDCC Pop, except in this one he has a camcorder. So you remember when he was recording Doc and the bad guys came in and they killed Doc for whatever reason, and he jumps in the car and goes back into I think the past this time. Maybe it was the past, it wasn't the future, to try and like tell Doc what was going on. Well, I mean, that's the scene this one is from. And so throw me a comment down below if you would like to see me get any of these other guys out of the box. But this is what I'm going to say. They're so similar that I'm just not going to put us through that, right? I mean, because they are so similar that I just can't see getting every one of them out of the box. Now, this guy is kind of different with the hat on, but not a significant amount of difference. This guy looks just like the SDCC Pop. Here, I'll get this guy out of the box and we'll compare him to that guy. I mean, so they're just not that different. and appearance. Now I'm going to tell you the ones I am happy about. I'm happy about the 2 Docs, and I'm semi-excited about Biff. I'm not totally excited about Biff, but this was the first time that I ever had a chance to grab a complete collection at one time, so I took advantage of it. I mean, I just simply took advantage of it. Now let's take a closer look at this guy and the SDCC pop. This is what I'm saying. As you can tell, there's not a lot of difference in him at all. So in one, he's got his watch. In the other one, he's holding a camcorder. In one, they put the sunglasses on top of his head. And in the other one, he doesn't have them. But at the end of the day, they are exactly the same. The exact same vest, the exact same shoes, the exact same coat, the exact same everything. So I don't know if they should have made just so many Martys with so many characters that they could have made. I mean, there's just so many iconic parts of the movie that they could have filled with these 2 guys, and they didn't. So I'm slightly disappointed in the idea that they didn't fill those slots with other characters. I mean, because they could have done his parents, they could have done they could have done all kinds of scenes from the movie, right? I mean, so they just didn't have to sit to these 2, that just. So they didn't just have to do like these 3 characters, right? They could have did all kinds of characters from the movie. I mean, they could have did him as an older person. I want to say that he was an older person, right? I mean, there's just so many iconic parts of this movie. But, you know, I'm going to get Doc and Biff open, and we're going to talk about some fun facts about this movie. Now, did y'all know that Disney first turned this movie down? So this movie was introduced to Disney when it first came out, and Disney actually turned the movie down. This is going to be Doc 2015. Now, this movie was shot, I want to say in, God, what year was it shot? 1985 is when this movie was shot. So they had him in 2015, which is, you know, it's pretty awesome. I mean, they jumped that many years in advance. So this is going to be Doc. There's 7 out of the box. This is $9.60. We're going to get the Docs and the Biff open. And throw me some comments down below if you want to see any of these other Martys taken out of the box. But like I said, they look so similar that I'm just not going to pull them all out of the box, because I think you'd get bored with me just pulling the same pop out of the box 5 different times. I mean, because that's essentially what I would be doing at the end of the day. I'd be taking 5 different pops and I'd be taking them out of the box. And I just think that you would get bored with that. Now, Ronald Reagan actually quoted this movie in his 1986 State of the Union address when he says, "Where we're going, we don't need roads." I mean, so that was a quote straight out of this movie. Doc himself looks pretty awesome. See, these were probably the 2 pops that I was looking the most forward to out of this collection was the Docs. Let's take a closer look at this guy. Now, when I was sitting over there, I immediately seen a problem with Doc, but I was going to keep that to myself until I got over here. The paint spillover on his glasses, as you can see, is really bad. I mean, it's almost all the way into his forehead, just the paint spillover that went into that one. He has a clear tie on, which is pretty awesome. These were the pops that I was looking the most forward to out of the collection, was the Docs and the Biff, but only because I don't think that I've ever seen a Biff before. I can't believe the paint spillover is just that bad right up on the top of him. Even with the paint spillover, though, it's still not a complete deal breaker to me. I mean, just because it has a little paint spillover is not going to stop me from collecting him at the end of the day. Now, this is the one that I was the most looking forward to with the whole helmet. So this is Doc with the helmet. He's number 58959 out of the group. I'm going to show you the back of the box again, just in case you missed it a second ago. So this is the one that I was looking forward to. I mean, their boxes have the DeLorean on it and the whole Back to the Future theme going on. So I mean, even their boxes to me are a little nostalgic, right? They kind of bring back those childhood memories of watching this on the floor with my parents when it first came out. And in my case, look, we were dirt poor, so we didn't go to the movie theater to watch this. And to be completely honest, I was probably only about 6 years old when this movie came out. So it's not like I was extremely like, I wouldn't have really remembered the movie anyways. So to me, this is one of them that I would have watched on the floor while my parents were watching it. It might have even been a couple of years old when I was watching it, and that's why I don't fully remember the first time I watched it. I just remember bits and pieces, right, of the very first time I watched it, and it would have been at my parents' house. But look, we didn't go to the movie theaters. We didn't do any of that because we were dirt poor. And I mean, I grew up dirt poor. Most people don't understand what that means, but I mean, look, just think of what poor is, and then go a little bit poorer than that. And that's how I grew up. So I mean, my first view of this would have definitely been from a black and white TV with some bunny ears. I mean, it probably had some aluminum foil attached to the bunny ears. There's just simply no telling, like, just no telling. Let's take a closer look at this one. Now, this one is the one that I was the most excited about. When I seen them all out of the group, this is the one that I wanted the most. I didn't think that I was going to pick these guys up though, because I just wasn't going to pre-order them. I had so much stuff on pre-order when they dropped these for pre-order, I just didn't pre-order them. So the fact that they all came to Walmart and I just happened to pick one up is kind of amazing, to be honest with you. Now on this, he is doing the whole God, I know the name of this, and something reactor. God, can I read it on there? Flux capacitor. Look at that. So you could even read like what's in his hand. So he has like the blueprint right there, the flux capacitor, and oh man, this is just a really, this right here is a really well done pop. Now, he's really top heavy, so I'm gonna assume when I set him down, if he's off balance at all, he's just simply going to fall because he is so top heavy. But he is a really awesome pop. Now Biff, I don't expect there to be a whole lot with Biff that tells me that this is Biff if Biff was outside of the box, to be totally honest with you. But Biff is a very iconic part of this movie as well, right? Because you have Biff as a child, you have Biff as an adult. Biff was just an awesome character in this. And like I said earlier, they could have did some other characters. There's so many awesome characters in this movie that they could have did more than just 4 Marty McFlys, right? I mean, so I'm a little disappointed that they did so many Martys. I'm even more disappointed that all of the Martys kind of look exactly the same at the end of the day. I mean, so when you're looking at them, after about the second or third one, you think, man, these things all kind of look exactly the same. Let's take a closer look at Biff. Biff, like I said, I didn't expect Biff to be totally different, right? I expected Biff to just look like Biff from the movie, and I didn't expect him to be really jump out and be iconic. The paint job on him looks pretty decent. I don't see a whole lot wrong with the paint job. It looks like they painted the hair on, so he must have been shaved. I have to go back and watch this movie. It's been so long. I would imagine since a whole lot of us have seen this movie that some of these scenes just aren't popping back to me, but he is a really well done pop. I don't see any problems with the paint spillover. I don't see any like molding issues. I mean, so he is a good looking pop. And this is a really awesome collection, and I'm super happy that I have the complete set of this collection that just came out. Now, this is not a complete set of Back to the Future by any means. I know you don't have to tell me, I get it. But this is the 7 that they just released here in the past 2 or 3 months, maybe even 4 months. I don't totally remember. This is the complete set plus the SDCC Marty McFly from the con, right? I mean, so technically there was 8 that they released, but they only gave us 7. I am really happy that I got this 7 in my collection. I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. I think that I seen a DeLorean that they were dropping, or some links of a DeLorean. I'm kind of hoping that I can get my hands on the DeLorean as well, because that would just go really awesome with my pop rides, right? There's lots of exciting stuff going on this channel. We got some lives coming up with some different channels, so I'm going to make sure to keep you guys posted on that kind of stuff. And I think I'm going to come out with some new pins here real soon, so kind of get your feelers out for some new pins. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and become part of the Wayneko crew, guys. There is no Wayneko crew without you, and I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you watching. Until next time, have a good one.